First of all, happy Early Years Teacher Day and welcome everyone to our Origami Workshop. This session is delivered to you by Best Practice Network and Origami Est as a part of the celebration of the National Early Years Teacher Day. Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. That's everything from me, and I'm going to pass over to Esther.
Great, thank you very much. Oh, very exciting to be making these with you guys. And I actually have got a background in early years. So actually I have had experience of teaching children these bookmarks, and honestly they are so good because they're so achievable for small hands, and they can be adapted in so many different ways, so that you can make them into different animals. So today we will be making pandas and foxes, but I'll also show you how you can kind of tweak it to make other things as well. So first of all, you're going to need to start with a square of paper. So I'll just put these to one side so they're out of the way. I think I'll start with making my panda. So I'm going to choose to use a fairly pale colour, but it's up to you, whatever you fancy. Straight away, we just need to fold in half diagonally. So if you have got two different colours of paper on each side, the colour you want it to be needs to be on the underside. Should have just mentioned that. And you're just going to fold in half diagonally, like so. Nice and straightforward. As I said, there are so few folds and quite simple folds, so this is something that's really achievable for children to do as well. So fold in half diagonally. I normally find it's really good to talk about the corners and say you're going to fold this corner over to this corner, so you bring it over to there and then fold in half. And now what we're going to do with this folded edge at the bottom, you're going to fold one bottom corner up to the top. So we're going to bring it all the way over to match that corner and then fold down. Nice and straightforward. So again, I'll just repeat that. Bottom corner all the way up to join the top corner like so. And then you want to repeat that on the other side. So we'll bring this bottom corner all the way over and then fold. Now, obviously, in origami, it is always really helpful for your folds to be as accurate as possible. But I really wouldn't stress if some children have them a little bit wonky, that is okay. This shape can adapt to that, so that's okay. Right, we'll then unfold those two folds. And then what you want to do is take just the top layer of paper. So as we folded it in half at the beginning, we've got two layers of paper here. You're just going to take that top layer and fold it down to meet the corner there where your two diagonal folds meet. So you're bringing it all the way over to join right there, and then you'll fold just that top layer. Okay, and you can probably already see the shape taking place because here, this is the back section that we've got here. And then here is where we end up tucking our paper under when we're then putting it on the corner of a book. You now want to take these corners and fold them to the same point like so. So I'll take this corner and I'll fold it over like so. That means you're halving this triangle that's here. Loads of great opportunities to talk about lots of shapes when doing this. It's really good. So we're going to take this corner over to here. Like so. And then we'll unfold those. So you can see I've got a fold here and a fold here. We want to unfold those as they are just pre-creases that we're now going to use to tuck this section underneath here. So what you want to do is lift that corner up. So it's like you're folding it back to that top corner, But instead of doing that, you're then going to tuck the paper behind like so. I'll repeat that again. If you've got any questions as I'm going, by the way, please do use the chat function to do that. So this corner, bringing up again, so you're using this fold that's here, but then the fold that we created there, that's going to help the paper tuck behind like so. And then you're going to repeat that on this side. So I'll bring that one up and over and tuck it underneath. And that is your basic shape of a bookmark. So you can use, if I take another square, you'll be able to see that I can literally just use that to then hold a place in a book, because I can tuck the page, the corner of the page underneath like so. It's a really nice way of doing it. So obviously we want to make these into animals to make it nice and fun for the kids. So this one will be a panda. As you can see, for the fox, I actually have it the other way round, and that's the really nice thing about this shape. You can use this basic shape to then just create it into basically whichever animal you like. I particularly like pandas and foxes, that's why I've done that. So what you would want to do is get yourself a pen. Now, obviously, for some children, you might actually want to break this down a little bit more and just do the folding, and then maybe just add stickers or pre-cut shapes for this part. It's up to you. But also, it's quite nice to add a bit of drawing element if you would like to. So you need to make your panda eyes. So to do that, I create a nice big circle on one side, and then the same again on the other. I've made mine a little bit more droopy on this one here, so you can play around with the shape of it. I then want to make another circle for the white of the panda's eyes, and again on the other side. And then in the middle of that circle, I'm going to put a dot. And then I just want to colour in the section between the two large circles. So I'll just quickly do that to show you. So as I said, you can absolutely do this as a bit of drawing practice. You can go step by step, but also for those children that maybe would struggle with that kind of fine motor skill, because obviously you're going to have a whole variety within your setting. You kind of, yeah, can differentiate and maybe have some pre-made eyes. So there's that one, and I'm just going to colour in this side. So yeah, some children could draw them, some children could just stick them on like so. That's my second eye done. And then I next want to make myself a little nose, so that will go in the middle. So I normally draw a triangle that goes between the two sections of paper, just to bridge those two together. So an upside down triangle, and then we want a little mouth or a big mouth. Obviously this, you can use your own creative choices on that one. I like to do little diddy mouths, but yeah, there we go. Lovely. So I've got my two eyes, nose, mouth, and then I just want to make some ears. This one's so nice and simple because actually it doesn't take long to make all the components. So with my ears, I'm going to use black paper. I tend to find children don't really mind if it's not accurate in terms of colour either, so you don't necessarily need to make it completely accurate in terms of colour. It's worth maybe even having a little look to see what kind of scale you want to make the ears. Again, these could be pre-cut. I'm going to take a pencil this time so it hopefully shows up nicely on your screens. But I just want to make a nice side semicircle. And as I'm sure lots of you do lots of pre-cutting for lots of things, what I'm actually going to do is fold that in half so that I can cut two at once. I'm sure you've done things like that lots before to help you get the same size of something. So I'm just going to cut those ears out. And adding the cutting elements for the children to do can also be a really great way to do a lot of fine motor skill practice. So it is not necessarily something you want to take out of their creation. There we go. So I've got my two ears, I've got my base. Now what I need to do is just stick those ears on. I tend to just glue them to the back. Obviously, you're not going to be using this in your setting. So that's just something that I use within my studio, but you could use any kind of glue or even just like double-sided sticky tape type tabs. But you want to put glue on the side that you are going to be using to stick onto. So I've put glue there, and then I'm going to stick that around about there, and then I'll grab another one like so. And there we go. There is the panda. So I've made myself a panda. I think it'd be a good idea to try a fox out now, and that can help us practice our folding skills. So I'm going to do a purple one this time. Go with my pink one. And this time for the fox, it's quite handy to have your square of paper, but then also a bit of white paper and then a little bit extra of the colour that you're using. So I've got myself another little purple square as well so that I can do some ears for my fox when I get to that stage. I don't think I mentioned, but this paper that I'm starting with, it is a 15 by 15 centimetre square, but you can actually use any size square. I would suggest if you are working with particularly young children, I would either use 15 by 15 or bigger. I don't think I'd go any smaller. And obviously, just going bigger, all it means is that you'll just end up with a bigger bookmark in the end. It won't affect it in any other way other than that. So we're going to fold in half diagonally, remembering if you have got a different colour or pattern on each side, you want the one that you would like it to be on the underside, so face down on the table, and then we'll fold in half diagonally. Like so. So corner to corner, that's always a good way to describe that, children. The other thing I've noticed when I'm working with children is how important it is to talk about lining it up first, holding it in place, and then folding, which obviously involves a lot of multitasking for some children, but it completely is doable, and just, yeah, have to kind of slow it down a little bit. So here's this bottom corner, and we're going to fold it up to the top corner. As early years practitioners, though, I'm sure that this is the kind of stuff that you guys are very used to doing, taking those steps back and slowing it right down. So that bottom corner up to the top corner. And then we want to unfold those. And then at this stage, it's where we separate the two layers of paper and take that top layer to fold it down to where those two diagonal folds meet here. So we'll fold that down like so. And then you want to fold those outside corners to that same point. So you're folding those triangles in half. And then you can unfold that bit and do the same again on the other side. So over from here, there. Like so. We then want to just refold this fold here and tuck behind. That will go right inside. And then the same again on this side. So bring it over and then tuck inside. Like so. Now, as I said before, this time round, it's actually going to be this way, but then also when you're using the Panda, you can have it that way. So when you are thinking about different things that you could create, you can definitely think about how to use it. You can even make it so that this is like a mouth. So you could add some teeth coming out to the bottom. So it's like a monster. And then maybe they could even draw monster teeth on the underside like so. There's lots and lots of different options, and maybe roll with what the children in your setting are really interested in at that moment. But I'll just show you the fox. So as I said, I want to have a little bit of white paper, and to be able to create this nice kind of bushy face, we want to create that shape. Obviously I want it to be about the same length as this side here, so I'm going to use my pencil just to sketch out where I'm going to cut. Now if I go about there, so that's about just over the width. I've just marked it out. I don't know how clearly you can see. I've just marked out the width, and this is what you could do in prep if you're going to then create lots and lots of these for the children to then be able to stick on. You could cut out lots of these first, and then you know that they're ready to fit all of the boxes that they've made. So you're just going to do a nice sweeping curve to then meet where that edge is that you've drawn. But I've started my curve a little bit up from the corner, and I've brought it all the way over like so. I then want to draw a straight line because that will be the edge. And then we're going to just draw a zigzag for that bushy bit of hair. They're like, well, bushy bit of hair, well, I guess it's kind of like the moustache in a sense. So we've gone all the way over, and then I've made some zigzags there. Again, what I'm going to do, because I need two of these, I will fold my paper in half when I cut that out. Like so. So I'll cut along all those lines. And if you need to make multiple of these, then obviously I would cut out multiple at one time. Save yourself a lot of cutting. But equally, if you feel like your children are up for it, then, you know, go for it. Let's make sure that we're giving them the opportunity to really have fun with their creativity. So I'll cut around as well. Like so. Get rid of some of those little bits. Okay, so now I am ready to stick those onto the box. Like so. So it'll go there and there. Get for myself a little bit more glue. I would have thought PVA glue is probably secure enough for this kind of task, or even Pritt stick actually, because we're using paper. Yeah, Pritt stick's probably best. Don't want to be waiting for PVA to dry, do you? There, and then here's my other one. Make sure that you do glue them so that they're going in opposite directions, otherwise you'll end up with a slightly lopsided looking box. Like so. While that's drying, I'm now going to make the ears, because I think I want to add the details once it's dry. That might be the best idea. So I'm going to do some ears again, really similarly to the panda. I just want to make sure that they're the right kind of size for the shape of the head. So I'll just draw it out while I'm up here. I think there we go. Nice big triangle shape, like so. At this stage though, I'm going to double it up, but then I'm going to draw my small triangles on the inside of the ear before I stick. Otherwise it can be really fiddly to try and colour in once it's stuck down. So I will cut like so, both ears. There we go. I've got my 2 ears, and I want to then draw in those little triangles for the inner parts of the ear. That's quite a nice job to get the children to do. It's a simple triangle, and then colour it in. I mean, or you could even pre-cut paper triangles. You can completely adapt it, obviously, to the children that you're working with. There we go. And then again, just a tiny bit of glue on the front, because you don't want to close up your bookmark. So a small amount of glue there. And I'll then stick that there, like so. And then the same again. Maybe actually I need to go a little bit further over. Same again here. And then once that's stuck, I can, oops, I'm starting to glue the wrong side. Oh no. I'll just wipe that glue off. Start again. But yes, that's a good reminder to make sure you glue on the front side. There we go. And then that can be in place but not sticking your bookmark down, because you want to be able to actually use your bookmark, obviously. So there's the ears, and now I'm simply going to add some eyes, and they just go nicely on the white, reasonably close to the nose. 2 eyes, and then I will draw on and colour in a little nose. Just make a nice little triangle at the bottom there, and colour that in as well. And there you have a fox. Fantastic. Right, finally, I think I'm just going to quickly show you how to do some that are even easier than these, so that if you feel like, oh my goodness, the children that I work with, they are going to find that really tricky. So what you can always do is get yourself some patterned paper. Now, a big tip for you guys, I often buy wrapping paper sheets to cut down to size, and with wrapping paper you could find yourself some animal print type paper, which will work really well because you've kind of got a ready-made animal, and you want to put pattern side face down. This is double-sided brilliantly, so you've got 2 different options, but I want it to be looking a bit more like an animal, so I'll put that side down, and I will fold in half diagonally like I have done already, like so. I'll take the bottom corner to the top. So I actually go and teach at holiday clubs for children, and we're going to take that bottom corner to the top as well. And so every time I go and teach them, I go once a week during their holiday club, and they will always ask, even when we're doing different activities, if they finish, they'll say, can we make another bookmark? Because they absolutely love making these. So I'm going to prepare you now. You're going to be making these a lot as soon as you do introduce them to your children. Okay, so we'll unfold those. That top layer, remember, just the top layer, bring that down to where those 2 folds meet, like so. And then we want to take this corner and fold it to that corner there. Like so. And then open it back up. And then the same again from this side. And then unfold. And then we just bring those back over and tuck them underneath that fold like so. So one side and then the other side. And now what you can do is with that, you can add just eyes to the top and it will look like a little animal. So I have got, I'm sure you guys will have seen these before, but if you haven't, then you definitely just need to search for some eye stickers because they instantly just will make your origami or anything else that you're making look really animated. So I'll just stick a couple of these eye stickers on, and there I have a nice, quick, easy way of creating an animal bookmark as well. So if you don't want to have to do all those other little bits, this can work really well as well. Use some nice pattern paper and then you can just add some lovely eye stickers. If you don't want to get eye stickers, then you can always pre-make some eyes yourself out of white paper and pens, and stick those on. I think that's all the folding I've got to show you today, but if there's any other questions or anything, then please do
Here. Excellent session. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Esther. It was amazing. And I hope everybody enjoyed it. As I said earlier, we're going to share the recording with you in the next couple of days. I'm also going to issue some certificates for you, so you will have an evidence of your new skills. And yeah, have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.